time, yet again. Episode 374. Here we are in our cave, our tea dungeon.
One might say.
Yeah. Welcome to tea time. And then just like an owl perches on your shoulder.
Yeah.
We are your hosts today. My name is James. James is Alan Poe. And what are we drinking, sir?
We are having some tea from Dragon Tea House. We're vaccinated, so it's all good, yo. We're just doing lots of drugs and tea over here, drugs. What? Are you calling me a witch? I don't even know. We are having some raw Pu'erh from 2012. I have not had this before. So thanks to Akshay, who sent this over.
Cool. From Dragon Tea House?
Yeah, who sourced it from Teas We Like, who did a sort of a cake sampling of a bunch of different productions from them.
Cool.
They have Yiwu teas, but they're kind of supposed to be pretty atypical Yiwu teas. So excited to try it. Have not had this before. And gonna give this a quick preheat.
Good looking material. Gosh, I have such strange time dilation where I'm like, 2012, that wasn't that long ago. That was kind of a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's 9 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at that phase now where it's like, if we had this when we first started TeaDB, it'd be a 1-year-old tea.
Totally.
So, I mean, TeaDB has aged.
Exactly.
Sadly, we have aged.
Yes. Well, this is going to be interesting because I've always enjoyed these sorts of teas earlier on in their life cycle. And we're seeing a different color.
Cup.
Yep. Thank you.
And let's take a smell here.
Yeah.
So it is a Hong Kong-based operation, but the tea will not have sort of that Hong Kong traditional storage note. It'd be more Hong Kong natural, Hong Kong dry.
Got it.
As far as that goes. So.
Interesting. Yeah. Doesn't smell particularly funky.
Nope.
Does smell kind of woodier. And that's it's going to, I guess, discourage the speed of aging. So from a biological age perspective, this is on the younger side of 9 years. Looking beautiful, very clean, big leaves. I think, yeah. Tea burps.
Yep.
Here we go.
And get a smell there.
Yeah. Pretty uniform in the a little variety in terms.
Yeah,
of
it's supposedly an
roast.
Yiwu blend, so it wouldn't be surprising if there's a bit of a difference in leaf gradation across there.
All right, let's do it. Cheers. Ooh, wow. God, these teas are interesting.
Yeah, it is quite interesting.
Yeah, it's very clearly an Yiwu sweetness.
Yeah, there's also like a few characteristics you don't necessarily expect.
Yeah. Almost like a hint of smokiness. Very kind of interesting earthiness.
Yeah, some sort of like, I don't know if it's quite earthy, but earthy graininess to it too.
Yeah. Still profoundly sweet. I mean, really no bitterness. It will potentially change here, but
yeah,
really nice.
Yeah, let me reboil that water and make sure we hit this pretty good.
Kind of a melon flavor to it a little bit.
Nice residual sweetness as well.
Yeah, tastes like a there's an oriental beauty thing happening that I'm getting out of this a little bit.
Like what are you talking about? Like in terms of like oxidation
like
or
exact kind of a sweeter roast going on a little bit that definitely tastes like a Pu'erh, but there's and it's just like an Yiwu, but yeah, I'm interested in seeing how this evolves. Really tasty so far. No bitterness whatsoever, at least yet.
We'll fix that.
Alright. Challenge accepted. Woo! Here we go.
Well, I will say this is probably never going to be a terribly bitter tea.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cheers. It's interesting. This is a lot greener than a lot of the Pu'erh that I normally have, but it's also not necessarily like a young green either.
No.
So it's I'm having a little bit of a hard time placing it, to be honest.
Yeah, the color makes me feel like it's certainly aged. It'd be much yellower if it was actually young, and it doesn't even look. The leaves themselves don't look green, but there is a freshness to this tea that, at least for me, I would have a hard time if I didn't see the color of it. I'd have a hard time placing its age, certainly. I don't know. It doesn't taste like really aged. The smallest hints of this kind of like earthiness, mineraliness at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's a little green too. A little, almost hinting at bitterness, but not yet. Sweet. A little bit fruity. Interesting.
This steep for me had a little bit of bitterness to it. It also had kind of like, I don't know, it's like, if you want to be a fancy ass person, you'd call it like muscatel or something, like this slightly grapey sweetness to the tea.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. There's a lot going on with it though. There's like a fair complexity of flavors. I could definitely believe that this is a blend.
Yeah. And it's resoundingly sweet. I mean, at least now, as of so far, I think anyone would enjoy this just drinking it as such. They maybe find it interesting. The flavor balance is unique, like you said. I'm not getting as much greenness, but yeah, it's good.
Is it rough at all? Like,
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm getting to your point about the bitterness. It's like on the verge of bitter. I can tell that this next steeping is going to be the strongest one we've had so far, easily.
especially when I forget about it for 25 seconds. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's nice. I can't taste any of the H taste, really. For something as sweet as this is, it's strong. It's potent. There's a lot of presence in the flavor palette that is here. And then just great residual flavors as well. Oh, really good. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fair bit of woodiness in this steep. Moving more into that sort of flavor category.
Yeah, much more Pu'erh in this now. Really feeling the classic Pu'erh flavors going on here, and now it's tasting more of those older.
Yeah.
When I mean older too, sometimes there's this aged taste that I talk about that's hard to kind of pinpoint, and then there's also just the evolution of the profile itself over time, which is different. And this has more of the latter for me. I just have more of those flavors that are kind of representative of the aging of it.
How is the lingering flavor for you? Is it pretty strong, or?
I'd say on this steeping at this point, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because it's now much more bitter than the first few steepings that we've had. Not that it's a really, really bitter tea, just that it's more bitter than the first few, which were very saccharine sweet.
Right. And I'm also trying to coax a little bit more flavor out of this too, or more just stuff going on.
There's a juiciness to this that's really wonderful. Yeah, definitely like a residual, strong residual bitterness at this point.
Yeah, there's some astringency going on for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's kind of the excuse me, sort of a proper astringency here. It's like kind of like a very Pu'erh-ish
100%. Very on brand.
Like in a sense that you would think it would continue to evolve.
Yes, I think it could still handle age well. Look at that color. Wow. Okay.
We'll call it on this tea.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. We 12 or 15 cups of tea over the course of a couple hours is a fair amount. We only drink 4 or 5 per tea when we're filming each episode, but we film multiple at once, so they build on each other. I'm feeling good. Beautiful color. I'm gonna smell it.
Yeah, go for it.
Look at those leaves. Great.
Probably
Big
expect
leaves.
the longevity to go for quite a while here. One other tip with the storage also is you can really tell that it's drier stored just from the leaf color once you get the wet leaves and brew it out for a while. So the leaves here are not pitch black as you'd expect from like Hong Kong traditional storage. Or not pitch black, but much darker.
Really smells like a pu'erh now. And tastes like one.
Yeah.
Those first few steepings I felt like were really, really different. I mean, and this is one reason why I think teas like this are so great is if you're more of an intermediate tea drinker, whatever that means, you're going to enjoy how dynamic this tea is. It's like drinking multiple teas in one tea, really. So, cheers.
Cheers. So, real quickly, mom test?
At this point, no. I'd say.
This steep, no, but what about earlier ones?
First 2 steepings, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is an interesting tea because I feel like a lot of these Yiwu teas get softer, stay sweet, and just bring about maybe some mineraliness. They, to me, don't necessarily do as well with age. There's nothing to calm down. There's no abrasiveness. This has a lot more body, a lot more intensity, has a lot more of that traditional pu'erh, raw pu'erh feel. I think the aging of this, given the drier aging, probably has influenced the palate a little bit too. I could see this aging for longer and getting even different.
I think so.
Yeah, and but it does feel more like classically in the raw pu'erh category than like a strong Yiwu representation.
And this last steep, I think I did push it a little bit too long, but one thing I do like about the steep is, while it's more bitter and there might be a little less complexity of flavor going on, just because it's hard to taste through that sort of bitterness, is you really are rewarded with like a richness of body and aftertaste. And it's very pu'erh-ish in that sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wonderful residual bitterness, mineraliness, very dynamic. I'd be interested in having tried this tea early on. I think it would have been tough at this point, as opposed to interesting and pleasurable. While if you're willing to brace yourself for these sorts of flavors. Right.
Well, we do have different version of those. We're not going to be bringing it on next episode. I think too strong. But that might be a possibility. I forget what years we have, but it might be like 2018, something like that.
Cool. So, got it. Interesting. Yeah. Well, this is definitely good. People, can they pick this up?
So Teas We Like has sold a sampler set with this. I have heard murmurings that they may offer some of these teas in the future. So, keep your eyes peeled. I don't know for certain whether it will be available or not, but something to watch out for, because I do think it's a good and interesting tea and a little atypical as far as Yiwus go.
Definitely. That's going to wrap it for us at TeaDB. Check us out our previous episode where we talked about oolong. I don't know. How do people have these whole and then watch the previous episode, click on this thing, and then go to my Twitter and do.
Well, probably the good folks over at YouTube will just just let the videos keep flowing, man. Yeah. I mean, see what they recommend next. And
shout out to Eric. Eric's been our guy.
Eric
Schmidt. Like the CEO of Google. Actually, I don't think he is anymore. Anyway, that was a bad joke.
Okay, boomer.
I'll see you guys next time on episode 474, baby.
Cheers.